Keon, overall, just what was the season like for you playing with this Brooklyn Nets team and the role that you had?
It was a big eye opener for me, and just how I got to attack this off season. But I mean, it was a great opportunity for me to get out and kind of reinvent myself for this year. Just coming off of a year where I was in the G League and being able to show how I can compete and play at a high level in the NBA.
You said that was an eye opener for what you have to do this offseason. What were some of those main takeaways that you just reflect on that's going to be some main priorities for you?
I would say one, just being more consistent on the defensive end, and just taking the challenge more of guarding team's best player, but also trying to stay focused on our what we're trying to do game in and game out. And then on the offensive end, being able to keep my reads simple, but just make those reads at a higher level and pretty much stay consistent.
You've mentioned before the confidence that Jordy gives you and this team just to go out there and play. Just what has that relationship been like, and what are the conversations like even just now about what you were able to do for them and hopefully moving forward?
Man, Coach Jordy does a great job of just keeping that confidence poured into us. Even right now, leading into the off season, he has told me that, I mean, he's happy with the way that I performed this year, but he wants to see me take it to a higher level, and pretty much keep doing what I'm doing, but just, I guess, be a little bit more consistent within what I'm trying to do.
Just firstly, what are your next weeks, months, whatever? What does that look like for you?
I'll be with my AAU team, traveling with them, going to tournaments. I'll probably spend a week with them and train with them, and then I'll go to my place in Dallas, hang out on my little ranch that I got, and just rejuvenate my soul, kind of.
And then just more generally speaking, we talked to you at Summer League last year. Let's say, we could show you, this will be your NBA season. You'll play all these minutes, and this is how you'll perform. You kind of touched on this with Megan, but what about that would you have expected of yourself? What about this season maybe would have surprised you? You mentioned wanting to be more consistent. Did you know that was going to be a struggle? If you had known you would have played this much, things like that.
I really wouldn't say I would have known that I would have played this much, but I kind of prepared myself to be able to play as much or be able to play whenever. So, for like going into this past off season, my big priority was just being in the tip-top shape and just pretty much staying ready for whatever is thrown at me. Whereas this year, I'm kind of evolving myself into a more solid role. So now I'm able to focus on whereas catch and shoot and making simple reads off the dribble, but also still keeping myself in the best shape to perform at the highest level.
Keon, back to the ranch. Do you have like cattle and horses?
No, right now I got goats.
Okay.
Yeah. I was gonna do cows, but goats are pretty much smaller, so I can use more land, less land, and have more goats. So it's a little bit of a
How many goats are we talking about?
25.
It's a lot of goats.
Yeah, but I got 20 acres, so they got a lot of land to run on. So
What's the goal? Do you have a goal beyond that? Like starting with goats, where does this go?
Well, my major was agriculture in college, so I kind of want to take what I majored in and kind of mix it into what I'm trying to do now, which is kind of want to be a farmer once basketball is over, and just be out on my own land and have my own vibe. But the goal would be to eventually get into aquaponics, hydroponic farming, fish farming. So the start is to have land. So
One more basketball question, but I'm just interested. It just feels like you've come such a long way, obviously getting to play this much. Where do you feel like you've grown the most, or like how different is Keon from October to now?
I would say being more vocal. Early in the year, I kind of wasn't as vocal as I am now into towards the end of the season, which came with me playing a lot more minutes and just being in those situations where my team needed me to either make a big stop or knock down a big shot. So, I mean, for me, that's kind of what a kid dreams of coming into the NBA, just having a role or something that they're good at and just taking that and running with it.
When you look at Cam Johnson, who's one of the oldest players on the team and very experienced guy who's been to the championship, just what stood out to you about his voice in the locker room and what he was able to do as kind of a leadership guy for you?
The way he approaches the game night in and night out, he comes in, works, I mean, pretty much harder than all of the guys in our locker room, but the way that pretty much he gets himself ready for games and how consistent he is in preparation, it goes to show the work that he does on the court whenever jump ball is tipped. It's no question because we're seeing this every day in practice. So, I mean, for guys like him with that type of experience, someone that I kind of cling on to just to pick their brain and see what they're thinking throughout games or any given time and moment.
Keon, this is the most you've played in a season by far, and your numbers have been probably the best they've been since you've been in the league. As you head into this offseason and next season, do the goals for yourself change from, say, just trying to get on the floor and get minutes to now, you want to try to be, say, a top 100 player, whatever the case may be? Is it more now about just producing and actually taking advantage of the playing time you're getting?
I would more so say that trying to create separation from this season, Keon, going into next season. So, I mean, a lot of the shots and the opportunity that I was given on offense and defense, it's not going to be the same the next year. So I kind of got to prepare myself going in knowing that, I got to figure out other ways that I can grow my game. One of those that I've noticed was just my finishing around the rim. If I can maybe knock down one or two more shots, layups around the rim, then that overall helps my game and expands my game. And just being able to read the game in that aspect, because the games change very fast, and so for a guy like me competing on both ends, those shots that I do get are almost slim to none. So being able to step into a game whether I'm playing 20 minutes or 10 minutes, just knowing that whether the ball touches my hands or not, I'm going to be able to make an impact.